Turkey's growing role in NATO isn't just strengthening its strategic influence, it's also driving one of the country's biggest export success stories. Overseas sales have surged over the past year, underlining the sector's growing role in Turkey's trade with its allies. Fresh numbers released ahead of this week's NATO summit in Ankara show defence and aerospace exports skyrocketed over 47% in the 12 months to June. Total sales touched nearly $11 billion, up from $7.4 billion in the previous period. NATO allies remained the sector's biggest customers, importing $6.2 billion worth of Turkish defence products. That accounted for more than half of all exports, with the top three destinations all belonging to the alliance. Officials credit stronger defence diplomacy, bilateral engagement and expanding international partnership for helping Turkish firms secure new contracts overseas. The industry is also delivering far greater value than most of Turkey's exports. Defence and aerospace products generated an average of more than $65 per kilogram, around 40 times the national export average. The figures highlight Turkey's shift toward higher value manufacturing, with a growing focus on technology development and joint production with its allies. For more on this, we're joined by Harun Kara, an academic, financial expert and researcher at the SETA Foundation. He joins us live from Ankara. Welcome to the programme, Harun. Now, Turkey has become an increasingly important player within NATO's defence ecosystem. So what makes the country's defence industry such a valuable partner for the alliance today?
Thank you so much. Good morning again. Turkey has transformed its defense industry from an import-dependent sector into a globally competitive industrial ecosystem. So NATO is looking at Turkey very carefully. The first pillar is that Turkey's big gamer in the defense industry is that the localization rate has increased from 20% to 80% in the last 20 years. The continuous investment in research and development, engineering, and advanced manufacture has strengthened the technological capacity of Turkey. And so, Turkey became a most popular and one of the most important players in the global defense ecosystem. The Turkish defense industry, now produce high-value products in aerospace, defense electronics, unmanned electronic system, and etc. As a result, the defense industry has become not only a security asset for Turkey, but also a driver transformation for Turkey. And it is an example of this kind of transformation in the globe. And as you know that NATO also emphasized the industrial transformation in defense expenditure. To make clear that not only military spending based on personal spending is important for NATO, but also the R&D based equipment spendings are important for NATO.
Right, and we've seen Turkish defence exports reach record levels this year, with NATO allies accounting for a growing share of those sales. What does that tell us about the international competitiveness of Turkey's defence industry? Yes, thank you again. As you mentioned, during the latest period, June 2025 and this year, Turkey's defense and aerospace exports increased nearly 50%, literally, actually, 47% increase, and it is reaching approximately $11 million. Exports to NATO member countries are also increasing significantly, reflecting that Turkey's growing role in allied defense supply chains. And we also emphasize that, according to SIPRI figures, Turkey's share global arms export, Turkey's role in global arms export has increased at around 1.7%. It is also increasing in 1% in the last 20 years. I mean, it's increasing 0.8 to 0. Something to 1.7. In other words, Turkey now has more than doubled its share of the global defense export market, making of the fastest growing defense exporters in the world. And what is behind that? Some Turkish companies, some Turkish firms, which is growing exporters in the world. Harun Kara from the SETA Foundation in Ankara. Great to have your thoughts. Thank you.